Farming is a part of all of our lineage, no matter your ethnic background. And somewhere along the way, many forgot that farming is the genesis of everything we want and need, including myself. I stand before you as a Philadelphia woman who started on this farming journey just 4 years ago. In 2018, after 10 years in healthcare and an unplanned resignation, I took a solo trip to Martinique to reset before planning the rest of my life. On the journey, agriculture found me in the farm of Black farmers who just so happened to own my Airbnb. We all know the history of farming as it pertains to Black people in America. As a direct result of those years of suffering, currently, only about 2% of U.S. farmers are Black. An even smaller fraction of those farmers live in urban environments, and an even smaller percentage of that are Black farmers that own successful and sustainable urban agriculture businesses. Representation matters. Farmer John exists to destigmatize soil while magnifying the story and ensuring the marginalized are seen. All the while increasing organic foodways, impacting food justice, and providing education for all of Philadelphia, and serving as a model for urban agriculture across the country. You see, farming has become a reincarnation of my healthcare career. Farmer John Agriculture and my concept of redefining the corner store will show urban people what farming looks like and empower them to grow their own food and to know who your farmer is. Therefore, giving you the power and the space to take control of your own health, your own wellness, because food is medicine, especially when it's 100% organically dope. Farmer John's mission is the reintroduction of farming into the lifestyles of urban people. So as the next generations grow up and they're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? The answer will not only be athletes, musicians, clinicians, and lawyers, but farmer will join the ranks of lucrative careers worth striving for. While at the Pennsylvania Farm Show earlier this month, we made history, representing Black and representing urban. While there, I told my city that I was coming home with a W. Well, here we are, and this is just the beginning. So I leave you with the words that I now live by. Agriculture is the culture. Thank you.
I'm State Representative Chris Rabb. My district is just a few blocks away. And I'm here because, I'll be honest, I eat food multiple times a day. I admit it. It's a lifelong exercise. And I'm honored that this is my third term serving on the House Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee. It makes perfect sense to me. I have to explain it to my constituents, and that's normally how I do it. And much like Senator Haywood, I am not a farmer. Those who know me know I always root what I say in history and genealogy, and I really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my father's 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 father, who learned how to butcher pigs while enslaved, and was able to raise enough money to buy himself and his family out of slavery, and built Rabb's Meat Market in Columbus, Mississippi, in Reconstruction and up until the Great Depression. And that family wealth allowed for his 6 sons to go off and do different things. One of whom was my grandfather, who was an avid gardener. You did not mess with his tomatoes, particularly the squirrels. And that was passed along to me. Now, my re-entry into agriculture has been as a public servant, and it's through the lens of urban agriculture. And I'm just really thrilled to be here because we talk a lot about the idea of these things and why they're important, but to see it in the flesh, to see people, our neighbors, folks who look just like us, doing the work and being celebrated and being funded for their leadership, right? Because we can praise you all you want, but this is your money, right? This is taxpayer money, and you are receiving a grant for your leadership. So while I'm always happy to see the secretary and my colleagues, I really just came here to get a selfie with you because I've been following you on Instagram for some time, and I want to be a part of your success, and I'm just really thrilled that I could celebrate with my colleagues today because you're doing the work, and this work is indeed collaborative. So your influence is beyond your organization. It reaches whole communities, and not just in the greater Philadelphia area, but across the Commonwealth. So thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, what I love about these events, in particularly when we talk about urban agriculture, is the lessons of history. Right? I mean, if you stop and listen, I mean, just in the last 15 minutes, we've taken a walk through history, right? From slavery to generations that were in the ag business and processing, and those who stand here. But the common denominator is the food, right, and the food access over time. And so I love the stories that go with agriculture. Agriculture is the culture. It is, absolutely, right? But we also saw something today unique about agriculture, is that there is a seat at and food on that table because of agriculture, right? And regardless of where you are on life's journey, regardless of where you call home, we have an opportunity now in Pennsylvania because of the historic work of our Pennsylvania Farm Bill. It remains the only state-level farm bill in the nation. I love to say it because every time we're compared to other states that are our competitors in dairy, in forestry, in crops, in cattle, and so forth, but we're the only state in the nation. And the folks standing with me today are those who made that happen. It was the advocacy, the vision from our urban representatives and those on the House and Senate Ag Committee who said, listen, we'd love to see you, Mr. Secretary, come into our district and talk about ag, but we'd really like it if you invest in it, right? And we said, how do you want to do that? That's what you have in the urban ag grants 3 years on, and I do anticipate it'll appear again in the governor's budget. But to think about $1.5 million investment, $1.5 million of investment in communities. And keep in mind, that's only the state's contribution. Every one of these projects, there is personal capital, right? That is invested. So the 1.5 acts as yeast to raise the money in the community from others, from the entrepreneurs to invest in food and agriculture. We have community-supported agriculture. But I'd like to turn those words around, and hopefully we are on this journey to an agriculture-supported community. There's a difference. Agriculture-supported communities, right? So as we work on our journey of being better at agriculture, to being more engaged across the state of Pennsylvania, to bring those voices and faces and people that are part of this amazing industry in the state, is that we keep in mind it's important of who is in it, in the industry. We represent all of them, but also the terms that we use to define it. So I'm very proud to stand here today and announce the urban ag grants in Pennsylvania. It will be wonderful to come back here when the snow is melted, right? And projects are greening and hammers are moving, but that is playing out across Pennsylvania in every single community. And having done the urban ag tours, I always come home humbled of what people who are in those communities are doing, many times with not a lot of resources, right? But they have an amazing power to change the lives because they're involved in food. And they've taken that approach. So congratulations to all of our recipients today.